I think we gotta start a series pretty soon. I have another easy recipe for you guys this week. We're making a whole roasted chicken with a rosemary sauce. This is perfect for a busy weeknight, having your friends over, maybe it's a date night, having dinner with the family. It's super delicious, super easy. I know you guys are gonna love it, so without further ado, let's get to cooking. So what I have here is a whole young chicken. Now what me and my wife do, we go to a farm and we buy these chickens fresh. Then we freeze them, vacuum seal them, and then that way we have a nice juicy fresh chicken anytime we want to have a whole bird. It's cheaper that way, it's a better overall product. So if you have a farm nearby, go pick up a couple of chickens. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these kitchen shears here, we're gonna flip the chicken over, and what we're gonna do is actually spatchcock this chicken so it cooks even. And what you have to do here is take these scissors and you're gonna cut the spine out. It helps if you have a really sharp pair of scissors. I've had mine for a while. I'm probably due for a new one or to sharpen them. You can kind of feel where the bones are. You just kind of keep working through there. So now as you can see, we're through one side. Go ahead and flip this over. Keep working through there, and there you go. So you can always save this for stock if you want. Don't throw that away. So what this is gonna allow it to do, this is gonna allow the chicken to lay flat. So that way, the legs and the breast cook evenly. If you cook the bird whole, you gotta tie it up, and sometimes you have parts of the chicken that are overcooked and undercooked. So this overall gives us a better product when you spatchcock the chicken. So what I have here is a makeshift roasting pan that I just made with a baking sheet, and then I have a wire rack so that there can be airflow underneath the chicken. Starting with the underside, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, salt, black pepper, and then just a little bit of garlic powder. We don't have to go crazy here. Now we're gonna flip this over on the presentation side. And we can go ahead and tuck in the wings, just like that so they don't burn. And then same thing on the other side, little olive oil, salt, black pepper, and a little garlic powder. And as normal, I always like the sauce to speak for itself, so we don't have to season our chicken crazy, just a little bit of flavor on there. Now we're going into the oven set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit on convection because I like the skin to get a little bit crispy. If you don't have convection bake, go about 425 for about 20 minutes and then lower the temperature down to about 375. I'm gonna place the chicken into the oven with the leg side facing the convection because the legs can take a little more heat than the breasts. It's probably gonna take around an hour or so to cook the chicken completely till done. All right, so our chicken's roasting in the oven. I got some rice cooking. I got some blanched asparagus. We're gonna work on making our rosemary sauce now. So in a medium-sized pan on medium heat, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, about 1 to 2 tablespoons worth. And then once the oil is hot, we're gonna start with our onions just like we always do. A little bit of salt and black pepper right on the onions. Now you always wanna start with onions unless there's bacon, then you start with bacon. Otherwise, you always start with the onions. Normally I would like to use shallots, but I didn't have a shallot, so we're always gonna use the next best thing, which is a sweet onion or a Spanish onion. So after about 2 minutes, once the onions start to turn translucent, we're gonna go in with about 3 cloves of minced garlic, and then 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary that we just minced up nice and fine. A little bit of rosemary goes a long way. You can really smell that rosemary and that garlic. Delicious. Now after about 30 seconds or so, we're gonna add in the chicken stock. This is about 1 cup. Then the key to this sauce is gonna be letting it reduce. We're gonna thicken it up with butter this time instead of a little bit of cream and butter. So we need to make sure this chicken stock reduces all the way down. We're gonna bring this to a gentle simmer, and it's probably gonna take around 10 minutes or so for this chicken stock to reduce by half, so we concentrate all that nice flavor. Just be patient, let it reduce slowly. So this chicken stock's been reducing for about 10 minutes. As you can see, it's almost evaporated. We have a little bit of chicken stock left. Now we're gonna add about a teaspoon of some Dijon mustard and some fresh lemon juice. Go ahead and stir that lemon juice and that mustard into the chicken stock. Now real quick, I'm just gonna taste this real quick for salt. Okay, it needs a little bit of salt, but not too much because I'm gonna add some butter. So just a little bit of salt, a little bit more black pepper here. Okay, now what we're gonna do here, this is very important. We gotta turn off the heat, and we're gonna add about a half a stick. I know it seems like a lot, but we're gonna add about a half a stick of some butter. And if you leave the heat on, your sauce is gonna break. We just wanna gently melt this butter into the sauce so it gets nice and thick. It helps if you cut the butter into very small cubes here so they melt very even. If you add a whole half stick of butter, it'll melt slow and it's not really what you want. You want to cut it into small cubes just so that it dissolves very quickly. And that took about maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute or so. You're gonna go ahead and taste the sauce again here. Ooh, that's perfect. You want it to be just thick enough to coat the back of a spoon, just like that. So now what you wanna do here, you're gonna keep this sauce warm while our chicken rests, and then we're gonna slice it up. So our chicken took about an hour. Skin's nice and crispy. We're just gonna go ahead and cut this down into portions. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna separate the thighs and the drumstick. Go ahead and separate the breasts from the carcass. So now you can either just serve a piece of leg, you can slice the breasts. Let's go ahead and serve this up. Okay, Gonna take one of these chicken quarters just like that, a couple pieces of the breast meat, a few pieces of asparagus that we blanched and then sauteed, and then last but not least, some of our rosemary sauce right on top of the chicken. It held up beautifully. I kept it on the stove there while the oven was on so that the sauce didn't break. Otherwise, if it gets too hot, your sauce will break. And then you can either garnish with parsley, or I'm just gonna add a sprig of rosemary so you know it's in the sauce. And there it is, our beautiful roast chicken with a rosemary sauce. Let's go ahead and give it a try. This is addictive. That sauce is absolutely incredible. It's got plenty of rosemary flavor, some nice acidity from the lemon. If you don't like rosemary, that's fine. You can use another herb like thyme. That's a safe one if somebody in the family doesn't like rosemary. Another thing, you don't just have to do this with chicken. You could do it with pork, you could do it with steak. It's just a basic sauce. I like to do it with roast chicken. Use convection on the oven if you have it. It gets the skin nice and crispy. If not, you might just have to bump the temperature up. You know, you can always serve this just with chicken and vegetables. You can serve it with rice like I have it here. It's the perfect meal for a busy weeknight. If you're entertaining friends or family, you have a date night, very easy to do. That sauce levels it up a notch so that you're not just making like a basic chicken. It'll make anybody you're serving this for very, very happy. If you guys enjoyed this video or you learned something, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.